I was born in 1961. I am 64 years old. I have been lifting weights for over 50 years. And right now, this is what I look like. This is what I lift like. And if you think the training I use to accomplish that might help you, stick around. Now, going through all of my training is a pretty daunting subject. So I'm going to break it up into topics. And the first one I'm going to start with is the exercises that I do. And I'm going to start the exercises that I do with why I do those exercises. And the first reason that I do the exercises I do is that when I started out, you had no choice. Gyms were small, 500 to 1,000 square feet, and there was virtually no equipment in them. You'd be lucky if you had a squat rack and 2 benches, very few dumbbells, a handful of barbells, 3, 4, 5 barbells or something, and plates. That's pretty much all you had. So you were limited in what you could do. You did the basic, traditional squat, bench, overhead press, and for back, T-bar rows. But T-bar rows at the time were with a barbell shoved in the corner, and you didn't even have a handle. You just grabbed the bar and did it. But that's how I learned. That's how I started out. And that's part of the reason I lift the way I do now. Another reason I lift the way I do now is that no matter how you're training, you are ultimately strength training. And the reason I say that is because strength has a survival benefit. If you're stronger, you can hunt and fight better. Now, the problem is that strength comes from muscle, and building muscle is metabolically expensive. It's expensive to maintain. It's expensive to use. So you have to get a really good payback on the muscle that you build. And that's why your body is really kind of resistant, why you have to push it so hard to get yourself, to get it to grow more muscle. That also means that you want to do exercises that focus on strength, that are most efficient and effective, most directed at developing strength. Now, not to be left out in all of this is my personality, my personal makeup, whatever you want to call it. I like big body, multi-joint movements. I like moving heavy things. I like the way it feels to use my body that way. So there is an element of that in there as well. All of these contribute to the exercises I select, and all the exercises I select and I use and have used for 50 years now, or there's about, are directed at strength. And the number one strength exercise out there, the foundation for everything, is squats, back squats. Back squats are the best, not just legs or lower body, but whole body exercise you can do. Nothing even comes close. My entire leg training is basically back squats. I do some I do back squats. I work myself very hard on those. And then I'll throw in maybe some front squats and some clean pull deadlift type things. I don't really do too much with the front squats. Sometimes I do. I don't do very much with the deadlifts because I've always found that if I develop my strength with my back squats, then it transfers very easily to the other lifts. So the front squats I'm mostly doing for form and technique. They feel different. They're fun. Not knocking them at all. But it's most of the real work is coming from the back squat. And the same thing with the deadlift. It's just to practice to make sure I don't get rusty. Because as I said, strength, if I do back squats, I get great strength out of it. And the next exercise after that I think is a super exercise is bench press. And it can be barbell bench press or it can be dumbbell bench press. I prefer dumbbell bench press. And that's because I can do it without a spotter. You just put the weight down. My hands can be positioned however I want. I can turn my wrist however I want. And it develops both sides evenly. There's no I've had a tendency sometimes to shift towards my dominant side. I've corrected it, but it's just with dumbbells, you can't do that at all. The left and the right are going to get the same amount of attention, develop the same amount of strength. Now, in addition to that, that's my primary strength exercise for chest, for upper body horizontal push. I also do a lot of vertical chest presses. I love the hammer strength vertical chest presses. They just feel so good, like you can really concentrate on the muscle. And that's kind of the bodybuilding portion of my horizontal upper body push exercises. For back, My back is all machine work. I don't do any free weight work for back. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is, as you increase the weight when you're doing, say, a T-bar row or a dumbbell row or a bent over row, there is a tendency to get more body language into the lift, and you're using different muscles, not the ones you're really after. The other reason is because I do a lot of back squats, my low back gets a lot of work already, and I don't want to add extra work into it that I haven't accounted for. And when you're doing a T-bar row or a bent over barbell row, you're definitely loading your low back. I also like the repeatability. When I do machines and you got the thigh pad and the chest thing, you can always make the lift the same, no matter how much weight you've got on there. You draw it to the same place. It's the same exercise. And what I do right now is I do a row machine, I do a pull down machine, and then I do something in between. For shoulders, the last exercises I do overhead barbell press, military press, shoulder press, whatever you want to call it. I love the exercise. I get a wicked pump out of it. I do a ton of reps. I do a ton of sets. And then I will do some reverse dumbbell flies or reverse machine flies. It doesn't matter. I'm just really, it's a little break, honestly, between that and my last exercise. And I'm getting a lot of rear deltoid work from doing my lats anyways. And the last thing I do for shoulders, and this is like as close as I'm going to get to an isolation or accessory exercises, is front plate raises. Now, old dogs and new tricks here. I picked that up from a TikTok video some kid made, and I'm like, man, I got to try it. And I really like it. It's a great exercise. The only advice I would give is control what you're doing. And I leave my elbows kind of bent because that way I'm not thinking about my arms. I'm just thinking about raising the shoulders, going up like. So that's it. That's what I do. That's why I do it. Now, I know some certified exercise science person is going to say, oh, you need to do this exercise for that little muscle or this exercise or something else like that. And, I'm way past the point of listening to what people say. I want to see results. I don't care if you can talk the talk. I want to know if you can walk the walk. And I've tried all this stuff. It's not like I haven't done these exercises. I've tried leg extensions and leg curls. And you know what happened? Nothing. I didn't get any stronger. I didn't get any bigger. I stopped doing them. And I didn't get any weaker. And I didn't get any smaller. As long as I was doing my squats, that was it. The rest of it didn't matter. Now, I think that given my age, given how I look, given what I lift, I've definitely shown I can walk the walk. And hopefully, my experience will help you walk the walk too. Enjoy the video? Let me know. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.